Hello, everyone. I'm a little late. Let's see here. I was doing some other podcasting stuff, so my equipment is a little. Let's see here. Slide me just a little over. There we go. Now, let's see here. Yeah, that's a little better. Oh, oops. I do not want that on the live thing. Oops. Because I have a much more appropriate shirt here. Yeah. He boiled for your sins. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, that's a little bright, I think. There we go. That's a little better. For those of you who don't know, tonight is Krampenschaft. This is the, is that on the camera? No. Tonight is Krampenschaft. Krampenschaft? I don't know. Basically, it's where Krampus, some people call him the shadow of Santa, the doppelganger of Santa, Santa Claus's brother. But basically, he goes around and he kidnaps all the bad little boys and girls and puts them in his sack, beats them with his a thresh of hay, and takes them down and leaves their parents a lump of coal. So that's where the lump of coal thing from Santa Claus came from. Is that's actually his brother that does that. Leaves the parents a lump of coal and takes the kids. So a lot of people on this side of the pond wanted a kinder, gentler version of the story. So anyways, happy Krampenschaft, and to those who celebrate that, this is happy holidays because it saves time. There's just a ton of holidays. There's Yule, there's Krampenschaft, there's Christmas, there's New Year's, there's Thanksgiving, there's Hanukkah, there's all got Kwanzaa. There's just like every day there's pretty much a international holiday. So it just saves time to say happy holidays to whatever holiday you celebrate. And me, I like to celebrate them all. Not for any other reason than just, gives a reason for a good drink. So tonight I am reviewing Tin Cup American whiskey. Now, one thing I wanted to point out on this is the bottle, the top threw me. So I thought this was like some black plastic covering sealing the drink. So I'm sitting there trying to figure out how to cut it, and I got a little razor knife that I just kind of carefully take where the plastic usually is on there, and I kind of carefully take it off. And turns out this is not a thing of plastic. This is a tin cup. Just screws off nice and easy. I did not feel very smart when I figured that out. So I do got to say, I'm going to try and remember to review the corking process, because sometimes the cork, the bottle is huge when it comes to this. The pouring on this is horrible. When you pour, it's just very sloppy, very messy pour. So I'm not a big fan of the way it pours out of this bottle. I am a big fan of the cork. This is not the best cork that I've ever gotten, but it fits, it seals it, it keeps your whiskey fresh, and whiskey does go bad. If you don't believe me, grab just a small little Glencairn of whiskey and leave it out overnight and see what it tastes like in the morning. It basically won't taste. It'll either be really bad or basically just will lose everything. It aerates it. So basically, like you've seen whiskey aerators, and they do these subtle changes to the whiskey. Well, if you leave it out overnight, it does that, but it kind of does a little too much of that. So you want a good seal on your whiskey bottle. And I gotta say, even though it's $20, about $20 for this bottle, uh, they do have a uh, very good bottle, very good seal. It's I believe that is fake cork of some sort. I think that's kind of more of a rubber. Yeah, but it works. I mean, the thing with the real corks is you got to worry about them breaking off into the bottle. And I had that happen once, and it was a bummer. So I was able to get it out without getting any cork in the whiskey, but it's still a bummer. So the bottle itself pours horribly. The cork seals it nice, does its job. So that's all good. Uh, now, when it comes to the whiskey, as you see, I've been finishing the bottle as usual. I got just this one. I got a little bit left. There's a couple nights where I didn't feel like having a drink. So at the end of the week, I still had some left. But that happens, And then maybe you do a couple weeks where you do mixed drinks, or you take a couple weeks off, and well, you still got whiskey, so it's good. Save some for later. But as I've said, this is $20. Just right around $20, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less at your favorite whiskey store. And for $20, you really can't demand a lot. $20 is very, very inexpensive for a whiskey. So keeping that price in mind, I'd say this is a really good whiskey for $20. There's nothing overwhelmingly horrible. So nothing I'm about to say, it doesn't thoroughly ruin the whiskey. It's a decent whiskey for $20. It's a very similar to my favorite $10 whiskey, or now it might be a little bit more like $12 or $13 whiskey, which is Benchmark, which is the absolute best, like super cheap whiskey out there. So basically it's about that good, but just for just a couple dollars more. So if you can't get Benchmark, Tin Cup might be an okay thing. That being said, it is $20. And so on the nose, I got cinnamon and maple. Very, very subtle. It's I mean, the proof on this is not, it's not very high proof. So let's see, what was it? I need to get my glasses here for a second so I can read the proof. It is aged 10 years, this one. So that's good. And it is, this is 86. Yeah, I thought it was 86. I just want to make sure. 86 proof. So for 86 proof, it's about what you would expect. I mean, there's really no surprises with this whiskey, but it is, everything on this is extremely subtle, except for the peppery. And when I say peppery, I mean like red pepper. Red pepper, like the flakes that you put on your pizza. I actually use a little bit of them on my omelet. Oh yeah. But yeah, there's the nose, very subtle cinnamon and maple is what I get. The initial taste, is come to think of it, I'm going to take away my red pepper comment on the initial taste. On the initial taste, I'm going to take that away. And I'm going to say maple, Red Hots, the Red Hots candy, and Jim Shoe. But it's not Red Hots like Fireball. It's a little bit more high quality than that. So like a high quality version of Red Hots. I don't know what that would be, but yeah, with just a touch of Jim Shoe, a Soussaint, if you will. So the initial taste it's decent. Um, I mean, for $20, it's really a good deal. If they were to charge like say $80 for this whiskey, I'd be like, oh hell no. It's not an $80 whiskey. It's a decent 20, maybe even $30 whiskey. The finish is grandma candy. That old rainbow candy that your grandma used to give you, if you're my age. A good sprinkle, a little bit of a sprinkle of the red pepper on the finish. So small sprinkle of red pepper in there, and just a touch of dandelion on the tail end. I don't know if and it's been a few decades since I've eaten a dandelion, but back when we were little kids, we would every once in a while we were stupid kids and dandelion, they look so pretty, let's eat them. And grass, dandelions, that kind of thing, weeds, they have a certain taste, and this has a little bit of that taste in there. Not at all a peat kind of thing. It's not a smoky band-aid like kind of thing, but it does have a little bit of dandelion in there. I don't know. Yeah. So but for the most part, what I taste is sweetness. I taste that maple, that ribbon candy, that like I said, cinnamon. Yeah, it's and like so many whiskeys I buy, the end of the bottle tastes so much better than the beginning of the bottle. The second half was way more enjoyable, and I got to say that bit of dandelion kind of went away towards the end. I don't taste it as much anymore. But when I first opened the bottle on Monday night, and I have just 2 fingers. I actually don't like the buzz. I like the taste of whiskey. I don't like the buzz. So, I drank when I was drinking it on Monday. I definitely tasted the dandelion, but as it aerated out, those things went away, and the more pleasant parts of the whiskey came through. So, so I would say because it's $20. Because it's around $20, I would say a very high recommend for Tin Cup whiskey, Tim Keep. Yeah. Tin Cup whiskey. Remember, the top is a tin cup. Don't try and cut off the plastic. It's not plastic. It's metal. It'll ruin your knife. So we got some we got some interesting episodes coming up. Probably next week, I want to review this one. Now, this one is very interesting to me. I'm going to put it over here so it has less glare. This is a 10-year. This is basically, it's aged 10 years in white virgin oak. And so I need to do a little bit of research on this, but it seems like it's Japanese bourbon. I don't know. And of course, they can't use the term bourbon because they're not in the United States. Just like in the United States, we have to say single malt whiskey instead of saying Scotch. Those terminologies and regulations are makes for some rather interesting terminology. I was watching one of my favorite whiskey podcasts recently, the Whiskey Tribe, and they were talking about how if you ship whiskey, if you ship Scotch over to the United States in bottles, you can still call it Scotch. But if you ship it over in a tote, one of those big, huge liquid totes that they send to civilizations, areas that don't have water for a while. If you ship it in one of those big plastic totes with a steel cage, it's not Scotch anymore. Same ingredient, same distillery, same amount, but because of what you delivered that in, it's no longer Scotch. That's how whiskey regulations are worldwide. They're kind of weird and goofy. So, anyways, I believe this is basically bourbon from Japan. So I gotta look into that a little bit. But that's my show. I try and keep these around 15 minutes if I can. So that's my show. As you can see, my dog left me. She went to bed. So I think I'm going to be heading there pretty soon after I finish this. But until then, always sip, never slam. This is Nerds Doing Whiskey. See you later. If we ever can get a bunch of people in the chat room, I'll actually stay and finish my drink with you. But yeah. So Sunday night, 8 o'clock. Be here.